How to be a transformational teacher. We run a lot of teacher transformation workshops, and when pre-service teachers or teacher candidates are asked, why do you want to be a teacher? The response is commonly, I want to be able to make a positive difference in the lives of my students. Many teacher candidates continue to say they also want to be an effective teacher who will be remembered fondly by their former students. Some want to have a chance to be a better teacher than the teachers they personally experienced. However, many researchers, including Frank, 1990, Fulton, 1989, Goodlad, 1990, Handler, 1993, state the axiom that teachers usually teach in the way they were taught. This compelling statement highlights the importance of reviewing and analyzing the attitudes and actions of effective and ineffective teachers. Welcome to the course on Transformational Teacher. In this course, we will equip you with the knowledge of how to be a transformational character in the lives of your students, a figure they will never forget for the rest of their lives. Are you ready to leave a legacy? The objective of this course is to enable you become a transformational teacher who will make a lasting impact in the lives of your students. To achieve our objectives, the course will focus on the following. Why is it important to be a transformational teacher? The 5 attitudes of transformational teachers. The effective attitudes and actions employed by teachers can ultimately make a positive difference in the lives of their students, and this belief will serve as the central focus of this course. By the time you enrolled in a college of education or teacher training program, you had already experienced and survived many teachers and at least 12 years of schooling. Since you have achieved this wealth of educational opportunities, you can serve as a credible resource in identifying the attitudes and actions that transformational teachers exhibited. What are some of those? Take a moment to write them down. And do share them with us at ask@leaderfreak.org. We would like to hear from you. So why is it so important for you to be a transformational teacher? Teachers have the opportunity to leave an indelible impression on their students' lives. School experiences mold, shape, and can influence how children view themselves inside and outside of school. These school memories have the potential to last a lifetime in students' mind and can play a consequential role with present and future decisions. Calderhead, 1996, Pianta, 1999, and Watson, 2003, have described teaching as an intensely psychological process and believe a teacher's ability to maintain productive classroom environments, motivate students, and make decisions depend on her personal qualities and the ability to create personal relationships with her students. Richardson, 1996, states, attitudes and beliefs are a subset of a group of constructs that name, define, and describe the structure and content of mental states that are thought to drive a person's actions. Researchers have completed studies on each of the 5 attitudes discussed in this course. The 5 attitudes of a transformational teacher. First attitude, demonstrating care and kindness. This attitude pertains to the persona of the teacher. Transformational teachers have a realness and genuineness towards caring and kindness. Transformational teachers willingly share emotions and feelings. For example, enthusiasm, affection, patience, sadness, and disapproval, as well as sincere interest and care about their students. Effective communication falls under this as you openly express feelings with your students. Research by Larson and Silverman, 2000, and Noddings, 1984, has emphasized the importance of developing a caring and respectful relationship between teachers and students. They support students' needs for both communication and care in order to achieve a personal relationship with their teachers. Noddings, 1984, believes the entire school curriculum should be built around the ethic of care. She contends that with this construction, caring will become an integral part of a committed, reciprocal relationship between the teacher and the student. Ways to show you care. Listen to your students and get to really know them. For ideas, read about and watch The Heart of Learning. Use kind words. Work with parents to show interest and concern for their children. Improve your practice by learning something new, including getting feedback from your students. Second attitude, sharing responsibility. This attitude focuses on the ability of the teacher to establish a shared environment. A transformational teacher must not be overly possessive or need complete control of her students and environment. It is important to allow students both responsibility and freedom within the classroom. Both the teacher and students need to contribute to the learning environment for a relationship of closeness and acceptance to develop. Carlson and Hastie believe teachers' and students' agendas need to overlap and be in support of each other, and the result will be a positive learning environment. Zimmerman and Claxton believe that the learning process should be organized in such a way that students take responsibility for their own learning. Students should be independent and able to make decisions about their learning ability and then plan accordingly. Richardson states, student-directed learning and curricula have become focal points for all constructivist-based teaching and learning practices. Ways to share responsibility. Give leadership roles to your students and let them support you to run the class. For instance, you can create leaders of logistics of 2 to 3 students whose job it is to ensure all teaching and learning materials are available at all times. Leaders of class behavior. A group of 2 to 3 students who will maintain order and discipline in class. Third attitude, sensitively accepting diversity. This attitude deals with empathy and the importance of understanding your students. You must be sensitive, accepting, and encouraging with the diversity of students in your class. In your class are children of diverse backgrounds, intelligence types, temperaments, learning abilities, etc. They are all not the same. You must understand your students without analyzing or judging them. It is critical for students to feel positive about themselves as individuals in order to gain the self-confidence to try new things. Verbally praising a shy or friendless child can be a turning point for their self-esteem and confidence levels. A child may be born with a talent, but someone, such as a teacher, needs to realize and believe in it, or it may not ever be nurtured. You have the ability to reinforce, support, and appreciate the work and play of your students. Ways to accept diversity. Make each child feel special by verbally sharing individual compliments in front of the class. Have a me time with each student where you talk and listen to each other. Fourth attitude, fostering individualized instruction. In adopting this attitude, you provide meaningful learning opportunities for all students. Students appreciate teachers who help them succeed with their learning experiences. When you use intimidation and fear in front of a class, your students will be reluctant to volunteer. Transformational teachers believe every child can and will learn. Do not point out weaknesses, but instead stress individual strengths and talents and how to turn their weaknesses into opportunities. Encourage positive self-confidence and self-esteem in your students. When provided with motivating activities and lessons, students become active and independent agents of their own learning. Learning should become an open adventure that does not lead down one straight and narrow path, but instead many roads should be provided that lead to a variety of destinations. You should be an encouraging facilitator or teacher, waiting at each roadblock or challenge with a smile and an optimistic attitude that encourages your students to continue their learning adventures. Provide all your students with a form of individualized instruction to be actively involved in their learning. You may resist the extra work required with individualization, but research supports its importance. This is especially an issue for students with special needs. Ways to foster individualized instruction. 1. All students learn, just not the same day or in the same way. 2. Be patient when students appear not to understand what you teach. 3. If you can, commit an extra period to support struggling students. Finally, vary your teaching methods and style. Fifth attitude, encouraging creativity. This attitude stresses the importance of stimulating your students' creativity. Invite ideas and suggestions from lessons and activities from your students. Be open to students' ways of being imaginative and utilize many approaches to learning. Students feel appreciated and are personally motivated when teachers design lessons that consider their interest, skills, and needs. When given the opportunity to be creative, students will take their learning to higher levels and become actively engaged in lessons by contributing ideas and insights. To be a transformational teacher, you should capitalize on students' intrinsic motivation, cognitive learning styles, and skills levels. This type of environment will be most conducive to fostering learning. Also, incorporating Howard Gardner's intellectual strengths or multiple intelligences into daily lesson planning can provide direction for you to offer students diverse opportunities for creative ways of learning or knowing in the classroom. The 9 intelligences identified by Howard Gardner are verbal linguistic, logical mathematical, visual spatial, bodily kinesthetic, musical, interpersonal, intrapersonal, naturalistic, and existential intelligence. Gardner's notion supports the continued argument that education needs to accommodate students' unique ways of learning and creativity needs to be a partner in the learning process. Ways to encourage creativity. Discuss with your students how they think a particular topic should be taught or treated. Compile all ideas and implement together with them. When you're teaching and some students do not understand, invite those who have to creatively explain it to their peers. You have just completed this course on 5 attitudes of transformational teachers. We believe it equipped you with the knowledge to make a lasting impact on your students. It's time for your gem step. What did you learn? Please take a pen and paper and answer these questions. Number 1, what did you learn? 2, what 3 changes are you going to make to your teaching? 3, in what 3 ways would you want to be a transformational teacher? It will all take but a minute. When you're through, share your learnings with us at ask@leaderfreak.org. We will be happy to hear from you. In conclusion, there is potential in every student, and a transformational teacher's attitude and actions can leave lasting impressions. To be a transformational teacher, you need to be a risk taker by being yourself and by trusting your students. You also need to create independent individuals so learning is more likely to take place. Transformational teachers genuinely care, like, accept, and value their students. The 5 attitudes and actions of transformational teachers include: 1, a genuine caring and kindness of the teacher. 2, a willingness to share the responsibility involved in a classroom. 3, a sincere sensitivity to the students' diversity. 4, a motivation to provide meaningful learning experiences for all students. And 5, an enthusiasm for stimulating the students' creativity. Do make a difference. Until we meet again on the next course, remember the most important factor in a student's success is the person standing at the front of the classroom, which is you. Until we see you again next time, remember that we're here to cheer you on to greatness.